off of here. I thought I had pulled that down, and apparently I did not. So let me see if I can pull that off of there and get that down. There we go. I thought I had, but I had not. I forgot I put an overlay up there. All right. Good morning to you here on the Cornbread Man Morning Show. Dave in the AM. Happy Tuesday. Had a pretty good Monday. Good kickoff to the week. Enjoyed the shows last night. Had a lot of fun. Looking forward to today. Tonight we'll have the pet show and at least one other one. I'll probably do maybe music tonight. I'm a little bit, need to get the music show in, and history will show up on Thursday night. So we'll do music tonight. Get back into discussion about music, rock and roll, and the history of it, and my scattered brain memories, and we'll gather yours as well. Yeah, it's getting a little cooler. It's going to be cold this weekend compared to what we've been having at night anyway. Not too happy. Do have the coffee. You can see it steaming in the cooler studio right now, but that's okay. Good morning to you on Podbean as well, as we're going live on Podbean. And we're getting closer to Christmas. The days are counting down, and I've got much to do. Much to do. Y'all pray for us. My wife, pray for her health. She continues to need, is good in some ways. In other ways, we're just trying to get her through. Yeah, it's the steam from the coffee. It's a good sales pitch, right? You can see the steam makes you want some, you know. It is a little cooler in here. I do have the heat on, but only about 10 minutes ago. So it is a little cooler, but it feels pretty good right now. Broski, good morning. And Watchman as well. Hope you're both doing well, and all others who have dropped by this morning. Well, it's National Day. Let's talk about what National Day is. It's National Christmas Card Day. If you didn't, glad get to hear how Mutt Lang will squeeze the life out. Well, he did. He's the unofficial sixth member of the band. Christmas card day today. So get your Christmas cards. I got my first Christmas card Sunday for the year. Or do you still do Christmas cards? It's still there, but not, I don't know. I wonder what the sales are compared to what it used to be. I used to get probably 30 to 40 Christmas cards a year. I think I've gotten two. Actually, I said one. I think we got one in the mail. But I get more from businesses than I do from people anymore. I don't know, but that is still a big deal. A lot of people at church do it. We'll get ours together and pass ours out as well. Christmas card day, Lutefisk Day. I did not aware of this one. A Norwegian celebration. Lutefisk Day is today. It sounds disgusting to me. It's basically cod, but the way that they put it together and the dish that I see it on, the potatoes look good, but the fish looks horrible to me. But I can be kind of picky that way. It's also National Pastry Day. I could get into that, although I don't need them. But if you go get you a pastry today, tell the person. They probably wouldn't even know that it is National Pastry Day. Here's one that I don't care for. I'll just say it. If it has cash in it, I'm all for Christmas cards and carols too, I say. It is Weary Willie Day. This name could take on a lot of meanings, but it's Weary Willie Day. But basically, it is the art. It recognizes the art of clowning and the impact it has in our lives. Well, the fact that I don't like clowns makes this one that I will not celebrate. It is named for, of course, Emmett Kelly, who was born back in the 1800s, famous clown. But I'm just not a fan of clowns. Yes, I have laughed at them when I was a kid, but I never wanted to get close to the clowns. I never trusted the clowns, and we've talked about that. I'm just not a fan of clowns, and the reasons why. Never felt really like I want to be around a clown or the Easter Bunny or anything like that, you know. So I'm not sure on that one, but I can get into Christmas Card Day and National Pastry Day. That's pretty cool too. Hey, on this National Christmas Card Day celebration of it, and this day on 19, I didn't realize it was the same year I was born, 1965. 1965 was the debut of A Charlie Brown Christmas. I didn't remember, if I have heard that, that was the date. I didn't remember it, but it is. It is It is the this day in history, rather, a Charlie Brown Christmas on this date in 1965. Of course, I wasn't born on this date, but that's when it was released. Um, okay, yeah. Went on school to be a clown and works. Okay, and again, I get that they bring, they can bring laughter to children and all that, but boy, I just don't care for them. Also, on this day in 1990 was the day that Lech Walesa was elected president of Poland. Quite a storied history there with him. And on this date, in the year 2000, the court, this is the date that the court halted the Florida recount. Remember, between Al Gore and George W. Bush. This was the date that was stopped. The court halted it. And also on this date was the separation of Charles and Diana, who I could care less, but it does take in the world. Can you imagine? Can you imagine your life surrounded or kind of rolling on what the royals do? And again, to all English people from England, I realize this is a big part of your deal, and I've don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because I've said stuff before that made people mad against that. But I live in America, and I don't follow the royals. I don't. I certainly the Queen Mother. I mean, she was kind of a feisty lady, and I kind of like some of her. You know, she didn't take no crap. But Charles, come on, dude. I don't even care for that guy not one little bit. The Hanging Chads. Good morning, Jake. Yeah, man, I understand, man. Y'all pray for Jake. Yeah, yesterday would have been her birthday. Well, hey, man, I know, it's tough. And we mentioned that last night. It's a tough time for a lot of people who have lost loved ones around this time. So, hey, man, all prayers and full support to you, man. Sorry for that. Yeah, the Hanging Chads, man. We found out more about Hanging Chads than we ever wanted to know. There was my company was a different company back then. It was about 5 years before it was bought out by a bigger company, and now is a part of a huge conglomerate. But I remember we had this quality manager or supervisor, and he was going around and he was taking this. He had this piece of paper because they were saying they got confused. I didn't know who I was voting for, and this guy created this paper, and he had like these lines, going to the different candidates, and it's like he made it. It was a bad joke, and somebody took it real personal. Remember, they got upset. So I guess it's only my people that don't understand how to use them, But that whole thing was ridiculous. I'll have to look, Jake. I don't remember. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, like, really, seriously, you don't know who you voted for? Come on, come on. They acted like that was some sort of a mystery punch or something, and just that little piece of paper. So stupid. I mean, they were interviewing people all over the country. Yeah, I went in. I mean, all over Florida for sure. Well, I didn't know. I thought I was voting for Al Gore. I mean, I didn't mean to vote for George W. Bush. And da 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 da. Good grief, liars. If I remember right, I was helping a friend of mine. We worked together at the time, but he was starting his own business. And eventually, went full time with it. And we were in Atlanta the day that happened, but we came back that night. Because that was nighttime. I remember us talking about it that day. It was like, this has got to stop. We came back that night, and of course, I can still remember CBS News. The decree got handed down. I can still remember that CBS guy. He's just flipping through there really fast, live. He hadn't had a chance to even absorb it yet because they're trying to get the all the news agencies was trying to get, what this meant. And I can still remember the look on his face when he realized that Al Gore didn't win. I mean, it was like he was like, it's over. Of course, I'm not saying George W. Bush was a great president or anything, but Al Gore would have been horrible. Horrible. Al Gore was pushing for $7 a gallon gasoline. $7. He wanted to fund all of his environmental stuff on that. We would have been under so much regulation due to his environmental wackiness, nutcase. Him and his wife, Tipper Gore, from the state of Tennessee. I don't know what those people are smoking, but they're crazy, absolutely crazy. On this date, General George Patton was hit in a questionable accident that led to his death days later. Yeah, that's always been a mystery, man. What a horrible way to go out. Part of the Bush crime family, similar to the mafia. But I remember when Tipper was going after all the artists. She was going to label everything. I had a friend who he's a Marine, but he started a company, and it was a kind of a employee relations company. This guy was excellent in really listening and getting people kind of on the same page. He was really good at Marine, but he was a big guy, but I don't know, he had a way about him. He taught me a lot about body language, about how to talk to people, address people. We really hit it off, and we talked a lot offline. And he had connections. I've mentioned this before. He had connections. He gave us the internet. He had connections to White House staff. That's how much this guy had been out there in the world and talked to a lot of people. I'm not talking about the newcomers. I'm talking about the people that work at the White House through every administration. And this is what they had to say about the Gores. They said the Clintons didn't bother them because they knew what they were. They were fake. This is what they said. They were fake. It was all about, they knew exactly what they were and exactly what they were about. It was all about money and power and, women and for Bill. But they were fake. They were just fake people. They said the Gores, because this is running up to that election, the Gores scared them to death because of their time as him serving as vice president. They said, this is what I was listening through a contact. They said that the Gores believed every stupid thing that they said. Like they were nutso. That's the impression that I got from this guy. And so it was like, that was a tough election. I can remember two things I remember about leading up that election. I didn't know who I was going to vote for. Actually, who I voted for on the primary was not either one of those. I voted for the Catholic candidate. I can't think of his name right now because I didn't like either one. But I remember it came down to the two, and I remember this guy at work said, "Well, who are you going to vote for?" And we were friends. We became better friends. But this guy, he had an explosive personality. I mean, just go off the rails, mad, screaming, hollering, veins popping out of his neck. And I remember he said, "Well, who are you voting for?" And I said, "Well, all things being said, I guess I'll just have to vote for Bush." And I remember this guy, like, he just exploded. Like, like I said, eyes looked, they were bugging out of his head, veins popping out of his neck, hollering, "I can't believe," just screaming, people were looking like we were in a fight. And I said, "Are you okay, dude?" He goes, "I can't believe you'd vote for a criminal like that." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Well, we don't have no choices, man. I'm not voting for Gore." I'm like, "Do you feel better? Did you need to get that off your chest, I made him mad one day about, he claimed at the time he was a Wiccan. Later on, he changed. I took every opportunity to talk about trees. It was a different time. I used to be a instigator pretty hard. I had to get over that. I had to pray about that. But I was a pretty good instigator. I'd fire this guy up all the time. But and then I had a lady who I remember one time she was a diehard Democrat. Diehard. She's probably not even with us anymore. She was pretty elderly back in the day. I'm sure she's deceased now, but I ain't sure. But anyway, she said something about me. I sounded like a true Republican. I didn't even call myself a Republican back. I called myself an independent back in those days because I was just as ticked off at the Republican Party as I was the Democratic Party back in those days. We're talking back in the late '80s, early '90s. I was because I came out of the Reagan years. I was really just lost. I didn't care for either side. I thought they were both full of crap, which they still are in a lot of ways. Oh, let's see. He gave us the algorithm. There are true television watching news believers even now. I don't know. I don't know anybody votes when they go in the voting booth. The day Bush was elected, a gang of like tried to attack me at work because I voted for him. That was her. Yeah. Well, and people. I remember it got ugly. I mean, I was. There were people that got really upset. I mean, it was a, you know, it was definitely a different time, depending on where you were at. I didn't have any trouble like my precinct or anything, but at work, I mean, I was in a pretty conservative area, and the people that worked there that were not generally wouldn't say anything. Like they wouldn't, they might not like it, they wouldn't say anything. But the problem, see, the difference about where I live is that it was uh, back in the day, the Blue Dog Democrats were fairly conservative. No, not totally, but there were a lot of people that for generations had voted Democrat in my area. And around that time, there were people really torn because their parents had always voted Democrat, but they were Southern Democrats. It was a different, platform even. And really, they didn't even look at the national level. Really, it was everybody in my area ran as a Democrat. You didn't see many Republicans running. And around, I don't remember what year it was, everybody flipped. All the politicians just about flipped to Republican. As the Democrats got more liberal, I mean way liberal, the local people who had to declare a party all flipped. I mean, it was the funniest thing ever. It's like all of them got together and said, "Well, we're not going to get elected if we don't flip over." So they all flipped to Republican, but they were all Democrats. But that's the way that it went because, and you will still see people that because that's the way they grew up. You'll still see people that they'll say, "Well, I don't like what they're doing nationally, but I'm a Democrat, always have been." Because they still believe it to be the party of the people. And that's what you would hear down here. But more and more people said, I can't vote for that. So we went through a metamorphosis down here in the South, especially in the area I was. I can remember there was a local guy. He was an elected, I think he was state senator, and he was Democrat. And he served for a long time in my area, a long time. And a lot of people still remember him and his brother. I'm not. They may even still be living. I'm not sure, but he was entrenched really firmly in this area, and it's a conservative area because they had all came out of that. That what was the guy that was the governor of Georgia? He kind of would do his own thing. He wouldn't stay with the national people, and it would drive people to the national level and state level crazy because Zell Miller was like that because of the way he would change his vote. And I gave him credit. He voted how he felt, and he didn't care what anybody said. So it was pretty interesting. Um, if you have time today, watch some Frank Zanu videos. He destroys a guitar. Okay, Frank Zanu. The party of the people wants the government to rule your life. Amazing. Well, I think what more and more what's happening is and good morning again to you. I've never voted for a Democrat, but nowadays I understand it's a uniparty and there's not much difference in the two. And that is true. And that's what's happened here in Georgia. Zigzag Zell, that's it. But he had a lot of supporters, but he made a lot of people mad too. But they would. I've never voted for a Democrat either that I knew. I mean, on local level, sometimes there was a time when they didn't declare that as much, and so on some offices, in fact, it wasn't even required. Later on, they required you to declare, but it's possible I voted for someone I didn't know they were, because they pretty much just ran without a party affiliation. And so, you just you get different things, but it has all changed now here. But the uniparty is a big deal in Georgia, and the governor Kemp, he has been pushing for that as well to bring everybody uh, towards the middle, and they just all sing kumbaya and go on to down the road. It's and they've tried. He has tried to really destroy being Kemp, of the official Republican Party of Georgia, or at least one of them, because you know he's really pushing for this without saying it. He's really pushing. He's withheld funds and stuff. He's collected money under another guise and just really tried to, I think, bring a lot of damage to it because they don't like as they say, they don't like the extremes on either side, so they're trying to bring back to the middle, and that's what we're doing. Well, and he is termed out, but he's really trying to set the narrative for the next governor, which that's not going to work. We'll elect who we want, but I can't stand the guy. Now, I never liked him. He was not my choice for governor leading up to that election at all, and I've never cared for him. He looked like a deer in the headlights during COVID, a deer in the headlights, straight up. I could not believe how bad he looked in those press conferences. I'm like, I can't believe this guy was elected. I mean, and then he goes over to Davos more than once. He goes over there and runs around with the globalist. The people in Georgia are going, "What are you doing? What are you doing over there?" There were people, citizen reporters that went over and followed him around and tried to call him out on that. Like, why are you over here with these people? Why are you meeting with the Klaus Schwabs of the world and stuff? What are you doing? I mean, that's what we were dealing with. And now he's really trying to push. Dooley to office. Not voting for him either. Not doing it. So, yeah, Georgia politics is it's we in Georgia, we don't like it. I mean, but we're kind of stuck with it. It's as dirty as anything in the country. Georgia politics on the many levels. It is very dirty, ugly. Things have happened and went on, and people know it. And they've tried to sit down on you if you say anything about it. They've tried to at many levels across the state. They've tried to. Well, not only tried, they have removed people from the podium, drugged people out, carried them out, who were just stating, following their rights at different areas around the state. It's been an ugly thing, and it's still ugly. And they play just as hardball down here as they do anywhere. So we can't look around the country. I mean, I feel like in North and South Georgia, it's not. You'll find a pocket or two maybe of that, but it's really the heart of the state. It's Atlanta proper, and all that. It's just dirty. But occasionally you'll see some small town stuff go on. But in North Georgia, I can say, the problem up here has been the Republican Party of the county I live in just got shellacked in a court case. I mean, they're having to pay damages and all. And a lot of people that are Republicans don't like the party leaders. It's been ugly up here. So even they tried to keep people from getting on a ballot and stuff. I mean, played some dirty stuff, tell them they had to declare certain things, and they were really taking away the freedoms that people have or trying to. And the court just totally it was not even close. It was a complete victory for the opposition. And the candidates all up here, waving goodbye to them, saying, I don't feel bad for you for having to pay the $80,000 that the two or three that were involved with it tried to do. It's been ugly. It has been ugly. That case is now over, and they're stuck paying the bill and trying to raise funds for it. But maybe things will get better going forward. So it goes back though. Politics is ugly. It's dirty. It has its parts, and people are zealous for power. And they'll do about anything to hang on to power. Even a very conservative area, which it's slowly changing somewhat. I have seen the area that I live. I have seen the demographics change just a little bit, and although you don't know, I just look at the totals. I mean, sometimes you can kind of tell when somebody comes in, you just kind of know. as I work elections, and I'll be working the election, the replacement for her, the temporary, to fill in for that till the next election. We'll have to run it again. Um, yeah, and so that will be coming up soon as they announce when it's not time for them to announce it yet. But but she did. I mean, like I said, you can like her or not, but MTG definitely went to the beat of her own drum. She definitely wasn't listening to party leaders. I mean, she challenged her own as much as she challenged anybody, and she's been out. By the way, the she's still elected leader right now. And if you'll go to her Facebook page, I think it is, and you will look at the money that's being voted on right now through they always do this through the national defense spending. Go look at the millions and millions of dollars are being spent overseas, being proposed. It'll make you sick. Go look at what she has posted. She's still doing the job. She is still calling it out. I mean, money that's going to Syria, Iraq, all across the Middle East for protection of borders. Go look at it. Go look at what's being proposed right now that they're voting on. I applaud her for she's still calling it out. And here it is. Here's this Congress that's supposed to be being led by Republicans, and the president. Go look at that thing, and make your morning breakfast. You'll be sick. I mean, it is absolutely sickening what is being proposed across across the seas in the Middle East, just the Middle East, in the Arab nations. Go look at that mess. I can't even believe it. It's appalling, and we need. Um, well, that's pretty much true. I mean, they're pouring the money all around. It's hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds. I guess it's if you added it all up, I'd say it's a few billion. But I just took a quick glance last night late, and I want to pull that back up today. We'll probably get that on one of the shows tonight, not the music, but we may do a news show or something or a MAGA show. But it is dirty and ugly. That's true. But she would call that out, and for all the things I didn't, there's things I didn't like that she said or did. The one thing I've always applauded her on, and people would give her heck saying, well, because people kind of accept it. Well, you have to give this money to all that. She said no, and she's always stood on that. This wasteful giving of money across the world to these people who, as she would say from the podium, hate our guts. Hate our guts. Why are we giving them money? Now, some people say, well, you don't understand geopolitics, political things, and we've got to keep peace in the Middle East and all this, and it's just a money grab. I mean, does anybody believe that they're taking that money for their border protection? No. You could be like Tucker and buy a house in Qatar, that overgrown frat boy for decades. Well, he's made a lot of people mad. That's for sure. There's times I liked what he said. There's other times I'm looking like I can't believe this guy is actually on a national level. I don't like his laugh. And maybe some people don't like my laugh, but that one laugh he has when he gets really something really hits him kind of hard. It kind of is odd. It's an odd laugh. Old Tuck. Remember back in the day, very early days of Fox, and he would come on with his little bow tie. He kind of got away from that. Remember how he would look? He'd have the suspenders and the bow tie. He used to do a lot of weird dressing and stuff. They changed his image a little bit. Every U.S. citizen could have $200,000 bonus checks from the government if we quit giving the billions to Israel every year. And listen, I get some things, that we do. Because I have followed it my whole life, pretty much. I mean, I see that, and we have like at one time we supported Iraq. Remember way back in the day, then we didn't support Iraq. One time we supported Iran, then we didn't support Iran. We just keep moving the. It's like we've got like a chess piece in the Middle East, and we go to different factions. And it's like, well, this decade we're going to support this terror group. That's kind of what it is. But that's a lot of money, man. But that's you know, that's what they do. They play the game, and they have, they have a very strong lobby in the country. We know that. I mean, but and now we're tied in with all the money to Ukraine and everything, and now that's falling apart. I knew that was not going to work. And I'm not bragging. I just really, no way was they ever going to walk away with the peace deal. Was not going to happen. The fight goes on. The president said by Thanksgiving, peace agreement. They lowered the points. They kept thinking they got it. They're putting all kind of pressure on Zelensky. He just came out and said, without return to land, no, we're not voting on anything. Putin says, we're not. Why? I'm not voting. You can have this thing. I don't want it. It's from them. It's not going to happen. It's not now. Now Europe's talking about sending more and more support to Ukraine. And wait and see. Wait and see. Wait and see. We'll end up sending some more support there, and this thing is going to click on. This decade, we're going to create this terror group. Um, it's getting ugly again. I mean, it really is very ugly. Interesting. Also, I wanted to mention today some birthdays. I do that as well. I like to mention some of the birthdays and think about some of the people. I don't mention everybody they list, but there's a few that stand out that I like to list. And one of those birthdays for today, um, Donny Osmond. I kind of grew up with old Donny, the Osmond brothers. Remember him and his sister, that a little bit rock and roll, a little bit country. He would always jump off the little thing, and they had that little bouncy thing, and he would jump up. Donny Osmond, 67 years old today. He's older than me, thankfully, but he is 67 years old today. Bo Bridges, 83. Man, I didn't realize he was that senior now. Bo Bridges, Michael Dorn, Worf, 72 years old today. Worf from Star Trek: The Next Generation. John Malkovich, 71 today. Wow. And on this, also born on this day was Margaret Hamilton, actress. She died in 85. I think I have one more. Kirk Douglas, yes, died in 2020, born in 1916. I liked a lot of his movies. I liked a lot of Kirk Douglas movies. There was some good. He was good at westerns. I liked some of the others, but mainly I liked him in westerns. That was good. So happy birthday to all those folks in memory. We'll give one on Instagram side because I've seen this guy on there. Country Wayne, 37 today. Goofy videos, but I have laughed at more than one of them, I have to admit. Does Donny Osmond eat cornbread? I doubt it. I doubt it. The Osmond brothers were one of those. They were very talented, very, very talented. Of course, the music was made, I guess, pop is what we would say. And so some of that, I thought it was okay, and then some I hated. I mean, it was because I was more, going towards. There's some pop act I like, I did, but I was more going towards more straight up rock. And but anyway, happy birthday to you if it's your birthday today. That is their birthdays today. Maybe it's your birthday. And I wanted to give a shout out to a town in Pennsylvania. I hadn't done this the last couple of shows, and I need to do it. I've never heard of this town, Oil City, Pennsylvania. It is probably not that far from Pittsburgh, if I had to guess, but I didn't look on the map. But Oil City, look, a quaint old, brick building top town, sits on the Allegheny River. But it has some old structures that are still hanging around. So it gives it that nice, old feeling, nestled in the hills there. But Oil City, I may have heard of it, but I'm not sure. I know I've never been there. Oil City. Oh, and then Marie, she did the big weight loss thing. She was a spokesperson for one of the weight loss ones. I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. She lost a lot of weight. Kind of went through some torture on that one. I mean, she lost way down. Her and Valerie Bertinelli, they both were spokespeople for the weight loss. and lost a lot of weight, and then gained it back, or some of it. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. I noticed they never could get Sally Struthers to be the spokesperson for the weight loss. I never understood why they chose her to stand in the middle of an African nation pleading for food. I just never. Something about that just didn't seem right. I liked her in All in the Family, but not much else of anything else. But her standing in the middle of some nation pleading for food, that people are starving, it just, the imagery of it just didn't really sit well with a lot of people. Marie, yeah, yeah. Well, never heard of it. All PA towns are well, brick and notice how PA does. Pennsylvania does it. And yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I've been to some as I didn't travel a lot in Pennsylvania. I did some. Um, I can't remember the names of the towns, but in the ones I was in, yeah, you're right. It sort of looks like that, and they're just 1, 2 traffic light kind of towns, very small. Um, there's probably a pub on every corner. Would you say? Here's in Ohio. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking more Ohio. I'm not sure about Pennsylvania, but I've never tried. Let's see. I think probably only ever went to 2 or 3 towns in. I did go. I was staying in a town. I don't remember the name of it. I did drive the 30 miles up to Puxatony though. Puxatony. I did go there. I said we're only 30 miles away. Let's go. So we drove up there. Pennsylvania is tough. Ohio's a bunch of sissies. Steve would like to hear that. The Celtic blacksmith. What's the difference in a pub and a beer joint? Not much. Down here we just say bar. We never say beer joint or pub. Well, maybe in downtown they probably got something fancied up, called it a pub. Northeastern Pennsylvania, the home of bar fights and street. Steel tough. Oh, Pittsburgh tough, you might say. That's a tough town. It's a rough town. A lot of crime. Never heard of something being called a beer joint. Well, I've heard the expression down here, but usually people down here just say bar, or club. I've heard of people saying going to the club, but that's typically, they say the club is a place where you dance. You drink, but you dance. There's entertainment of some kind, which the other place has entertainment too. It's just different kind. But most people down here would say, I went to the bar. We called them beer joints from where I'm from. I have heard the expression, but I can't remember. It just wasn't something that was very much in the vernacular. Always was called bar down here. I was like, you were only in Western Pennsylvania, you need to travel east where the real tough towns are. Like I said, the only reason I was there is I spoke in a couple of churches, and I may have only spoken one in Pennsylvania. I think there might have been 2, but I didn't get the chance to travel through the state like I would like to. So honestly, I didn't get to go to Gettysburg. I wanted to go. I still haven't been. I've got to go. Well, you're probably right. The club. We're going to the club. Oh, down here, the expression "belly up to the bar" is very well known. Belly up to the bar. No, nobody. I mean, like I said, club. That's typically something way different than these different kinds of meeting places. Most clubs get closed down. Bars will hang around because what happens at clubs is you get a massive amount of people, and they end up the police. They find somebody to shut the places down because the fights every day. I mean, bad, big fights, massive people. They end up just finding ways to find them and give them heck until they're gone. That's what they do in the town over in the state line. And there was a guy from Boston. He came down here to do radio. He started a club, And I don't know if it's still there or not, but he was very angry at the way the local police and leadership viewed his club. But most people down here, they go to a bar. Okay, Northeast Georgia. I was speaking when I was young. Now they call them bars now. Yeah, yeah. You could go to Greenville. A beer joint is where we would drink draft for for a fish bowl of PBR, cheap, yeah, Bobo beer. Yeah, and I've been in those places. I have been in those places. I can remember early in the week, especially, you would have the 50-cent beer night, or they give you the cup, you pay one price, and they just yeah, I remember those places, long time ago. I didn't know that PBR was ever hip, ever a hipster. I didn't know that. It's never for me. I'm glad I don't do any of those things anymore. I'm glad that's that guy's gone. He don't miss it. But there used to be a place. A lot of the even the stores. I don't see it as much anymore. Every once in a while, in the middle of summer, I'll still see it. They used to put the beer on ice. Like in you'd pay. They have dollar night or something, and you go get it right out of the thing. Uh, but yeah, there used to be places right here. I don't think you can still do it where you took your gallon milk jug, and you could drive up to a window and get draft beer filled, for I forget what it was, how probably $5 or something. I don't remember to fill up your milk jugs. And I remember people keeping their milk jugs and washing them out so they could go pick up their beer. Their weekend beer run was the milk jug with the beer, the draft beer. If people say club anymore, it's a strip club, and it's mostly I don't know. I don't go to them, but and there's none around here. Thank goodness. Atlanta would be a place where they used to be a bunch of them. I don't know if there's any more that there or not, but yeah, I saw somebody online this morning. There was a huge discussion this morning of a person saying that they can't stand with Trump anymore, um, because they said he just lies too much. But there was a huge discussion online this morning and I don't remember who it was. I don't even know if I know him. I think we may have followed each other on Facebook, but it is politics is heating up for sure. Discos. I don't know if I've ever been to a disco. I really don't remember if I've ever been to a disco. Um, Maybe. Um, I'm trying to think because I really didn't. I would never really was much to go out like that. And I went to places, but I was always on guard because um, I, my wife knew a guy that got shot in a bar in the bathroom. I think it was uh, even his wife or ex-wife or a strange wife, something. I remember going visiting him in the hospital and all the health problems that he had out of that. And I used to, I was very leery about that because there was so much violence. And I did see a few things, fights and stuff. I mentioned those the other night, but I never was one to say, "Hey, it's Friday night. We're going to the bar. We're going to the club. We're going to this." If I went somewhere, it was a sports place, and I would watch like Monday Night Football or something like that. Sometimes we'd go out. Me and my wife did that before, but we would eat pizza and you know have Coca Cola or something, and then yeah, I would probably drink a couple back in those days and then go home. But that's more. We did that in Atlanta a lot. We would go to. There's a couple of different Jocks and Jills. Was that it? Sports Club, I think, and then there was one called Chicago Sports and Pizzeria on Buford Highway. You used to go to a lot, and we go there up in the day. We never went at night. It was all I think maybe 95% of the time, it was all during the day. Every once in a while, we might have went into one at night, but you had to watch. There was violence there. The one at the CNN Center, I went in one time, and I said I'll never go back because there was. there was a lot of problems. Well, the regular Coke, I never had in my life had anything else. Um, and now they're talking about uh, saying if Pete, he's leaving it up to Pete Hegseth where he wants the video release to hit on the ship. I honestly can't believe we're still talking about this. So they're talking about whether to release the video of that one that got, as they say, double tapped. But I feel like eventually it's probably going to be released because they're just not going to let it go. It's going to continue to be talked about, uh, and what happened there. They so believe that they've got. I mean, basically everybody's cleared from what I understand, but they're so mad that they have hit these boats, and so they're continuing to do that. But Congress is saying they're going to withhold Pentagon travel funds from Pete Hegseth until the footage is released. Uh, because everybody's trying to cover themselves right now and look good in this thing. But it is a lot of distraction, and I always say when distractions are out there, watch the back door, what's going on, because it seems like that's when things happen that gets people's attention on something else, and they're not paying attention to what's happened. And one of those things right now, it's kind of been in the news, is the president is making a move on Greenland again. It never went away, but he's talking about it now, and he went there. I believe he went there, but I know they've talked about it. Representatives have been there, and they're talking about Greenland again as coming under U.S. control. This could heat up pretty quick. And the other news that was kind of over the last 24 hours was the potential for a tariff, extra tariff of 5% on Mexico. Of all things, in a water dispute. I heard about that last night too. That they believe that they withheld water owed to Texas farmers, and they threatened to impose an additional 5% tariff if the nation doesn't immediately comply. So they must send 1.75 million acre feet of water to the U.S. from the Rio Grande River through a network of dams and reservoirs every 5 years. But Trump wrote on Truth Social that Mexico owes the U.S. 800,000 acre per feet because of treaty violations during the past 5 years. Quote, Mexico continues to violate our comprehensive water treaty. This violation is seriously hurting our beautiful Texas crops and livestock, Trump wrote. Mexico still owes U.S. over 800,000 acres feet of water for the failing to comply with our treaty over the past 5 years, he said. I've never even heard of that treaty, to be honest with you. I never even knew that there was a treaty like that. He demanded Mexico release 200,000 acres feet of water before December 31st, and the rest must come soon after. As of now, Mexico is not responding and is very unfair to our U.S. farmers who deserve this much-needed water. It is a dry area. I mean, that is why I've authorized documentation to oppose a 5% tariff on Mexico if this water isn't released immediately. The longer Mexico takes to release the water, the more our farmers are hurt. Mexico has an obligation to fix this now, he puts in capital letters. Thank you for your attention on this matter. He made a similar complaint about Mexico's noncompliance with the treaty in April. I missed that one to Truth Social Post. Later this month, Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins announced that Mexico agreed, or that month, to increase water shipments to Texas to help make up a shortfall under the treaty. The water wars, and I've said this was one that would love to be great to have Greenland. I really believe that. I really believe that one of the wars that will happen is not over oil, but over water. I think that's what's heating up because there is not enough good, clean water to go around, or even water that can be had. In some nations, it's so dry. And I've said I think that the battle may be over water. Um, there's a lot of people that follow it. He has his own little streaming TV now, which is quite affordable, actually. I don't know what all's on it. I don't have it. And then he started the phone stuff as well. So he started his own little network of stuff. I've heard no more about it, but that's what they say. But I didn't know that we were fighting over, with all that we've got going on, I didn't know that water was one of them. So, but we've had the same fight down here in Georgia, Florida, Alabama. The water wars of a few years ago was quite famous in this area, and who got what water and how much. That's back when the drought really hit hard. Um, Broski said, never been on Truth Social. I've been there. We actually have a few followers there on Truth for the podcast, but it's not one of the biggest or nothing like that. But I didn't realize this was a thing that they were fighting over the water. So they're not responding. Um, I'm just saying this. I'm not saying this in a declarative kind of way. Could we not just take the Rio Grande? Could we not just take it? Just extend into Mexico a little bit and say, we'll give you your portion. Since you're not going to give us ours, we're just going to take it over, and we're going to have a buffer zone here for the border, and we're going to stop all the human trafficking through the. Boy, that'd cause a firestorm. I could see the International Criminal Court really getting inflamed up on this. Oh, water wars. Again, see, I can just see now the president down on a boat crossing the like Patton or something, crossing the river, standing on the other side with the American flag. You know what? He would do that. He would absolutely do that. I could see him doing that. Got all the patrol boats down there. They've already landed. The Marines have landed. The Marines have landed on the other side, Mexican side, and they've created a beachhead there. And the president got the cameras and all up down there, Truth Social, the whole deal. And he's in. He wouldn't wear a suit. I don't think he would wear military garb, but he would wear probably like golfing something. I don't know. And he would cross over. Probably have a American flag shirt on or something, and he would get standing on the boat that have him something to hold on to, and he'd be holding the flag, and they would cross over, and he would step off on the other side and plant the flag. I could see him doing that. You know it. He would do it. He would cross over and do that. It would be like the designer camo. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah, he'd probably go with some camo. And I could just see him and Pete Hegseth and Holman and the whole. They'd all be crossing over, holding the flags, have a ceremony there, plant the flag on the other side, and said, "We declare this now United States property." And I could see it. I absolutely could see that. That's what Putin wants in Ukraine, control of water ports. Well, sure, yeah, that's big money. He also wants those minerals, the resources. I will say this, and I've said it before. I am amazed that Russia didn't get a hold of Odessa. I really thought that he would get a hold of that. I really thought that was his main goal, was to get a hold of that and the land bridge. Because they have to cross over bridges. They wanted a land bridge. Well, they've got it now. He has that. Um, I just think he thinks he can get most of the country, if not all of it, and nobody's going to lift a finger to do much. And they say the inflation is hitting hard over there, and he's making less money off the oil and stuff. I don't know. They say that, but then they seem like they're doing okay, other than they're losing men left and right. I mean, it's a bloodbath on both sides. He just has more men that he can grab a hold of and throw in the front lines. Absolutely has that, and so the bloodbath continues. It's really sad. War is never good. Sometimes it is necessary, but it is never good. So I wish that we could have like a boxing ring, and Zelensky and Putin would get in the ring and just put on the boxing gloves. I don't even go MMA. I don't even care. Don't even put on boxing gloves. Just go fist. Just go, and whoever wins the whole deal. No more dying. Yeah, you're right, Brusky. The more that he does, he feels empowered. Like, who's going to stop him? He reads the room really well. He really does. He knows he's got leverage. I mean, what? Nobody's going to take on a full fledged fight with him. The proxy war is not working. Nobody's going to let Zelensky get deep into the heart of Russian weapons outside of drones that they've been able to get deeper. It's like one strike offs. It's nothing big except those planes they hit. And other than that, they don't have nothing. So, I don't know. But I got to go. It is time. It is time to get off the show this morning. And we appreciate you all for stopping by. Thank you for being by on Podbean. And thank you for stopping by all the different ones that were on this morning. And I've got to get the kiddos to school and get to work and all that good stuff. And we will have a pet show tonight with Miss Jen around 6. And then we'll talk music tonight as well. So let me get the song queued up here. And let me see here. Make sure I got the right one. I think that's it. If it is, we're gone. Not it. There it is.